Okay, there we go. Welcome everybody. For those of you who are brand new and have gotten started with us just recently in the last week, and this is your first team huddle, welcome. My name is Brittany Hayes. I'm your ambassador Diamond Upline. And I'm super excited for tonight's Zoom because I really do think that so often when we get started, we can overcomplicate this business in a lot of ways. And one of them is, taking good photos. A lot of times, if you haven't been active on social media, that can be something that intimidates you. And Jordan and I can both attest to how far we've come since we got started. I look back at my time hop and I see things from like 4 years ago and I'm like, oh my gosh, like it actually like shocks me sometimes because I forget how far I've come. I know Jordan feels the same way. And so I want you to know that like no one starts at perfect, and we're still not in a perfect place with our content at this point by any means, but you just have to start and you just have to learn as you go. And as you go, you will get more confident and you will start, just progressing, slowly but surely. And you'll feel like, okay, I'm getting the hang of this. And you'll look back on your memories and be like, wow, I've progressed so much in just a year. I know for me, like when I'm scrolling back and looking, because I've been in the business 4.5 years at this point, when I see things from 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and 1 year ago, it is like amazing to me, the progression. And even 1 year ago versus now is so different. And so I hope you can take all the tips away from tonight and boost your confidence and just start implementing, some of them little by little. Don't be overwhelmed. Just take the things that really stand out to you that you're like, okay, that makes sense. That's not that hard. I'm going to start doing that and just start, getting a little bit better with every post that you do. And the most important thing is just once you know, like where you have a good angle at, where the lighting is best in your house, things like that. Just don't overcomplicate it. Just don't overthink your post. Just go get your picture, make your post. Done is absolutely better than perfect. And as you go, you'll have more ideas, you'll get more creative, and you'll start having more and more fun with it. So to me, creating content is my favorite part of the business. And so if it's something that stresses you out, my hope for you is that after tonight's Zoom, you walk away more confident and to where you're not in a place where you are stressed out by photos and making posts, and you actually start getting to a point where you're like, okay, like this is fun for me. I'm going to let my creative juices flow too, because that's where people really get to know you and get to see a fun side of you. So on that note, I'm going to get started with some information about photos. I'm going to start with some basic stuff and then get to some, more specific concentrated tips. And then I'm going to pass it over to Jordan, and Jordan is going to share some video editing tips with you guys. So make sure you have your notepads out. If you have any questions as we go, please feel free to ask in the chat. That's what we're here for. But on that note, let me go ahead and screen share with you guys. 1 second. Let's see here. Okay. AirPlay. Hopefully this works quickly this time. Okay, here we go. Let's see, connect to Wi-Fi, tap screen mirroring, choose Zoom. Sorry, I always have to read the directions. You think I'd be super technologically savvy by this point, but I'm really not. Savannah's way more savvy than me. Okay, here we go. Okay, so number one, what I like to do is edit my photos in Lightroom. So I am going to go over taking a good photo here in just a second, but first things first, I did want to show you guys how I edit my photos. So I only use Lightroom to edit my photos. When I got started, I used a different app, but in my opinion, Lightroom is the best app now. I actually have some old apps on here I need to delete. Okay, so just to give you guys some perspective, that when you hold down, it shows you before. This was before, and this is after my preset. I use the Chelsea Jean preset, and it's called Beachy. You can go to Chelsea Jean on Instagram if you like this preset. And I'm going to show you guys if you like. This was me and Ashley today at lunch. This is before. This is after. You absolutely want to be using a preset and editing your photos. This was a good photo before. The lighting was good. We were standing in front of a window. It was portrait mode, portrait selfie mode on my iPhone. Like it was a good photo. But what a preset does is it takes a good photo and it makes it great. It makes it pop. Let me find some others like of my kids I can show you. So this is Adeline at the park. This is before. This is after. You can see it's just so much more eye-catching using a preset. Most of my photos are always going to be taken in daylight and good lighting. This is one outside Savannah took of me. This is before. This is after. So you can see the blue really pops, like that's before and that's after. The blue's just so much like that prettier, brighter. The green's prettier. What I like about Chelsea jeans personally is I think it's also really flattering on skin tone, whereas I think some of them can wash you out. I am going to show you guys a couple tips real quick though that I do. Okay, so let me actually pull a photo, or you know what? Let me just reset this. This will be the easiest way to show you. Okay. How do I do that? Reset all. Okay, so this is the original photo. So once you have the presets in your preset, it's super easy. You're going to click preset. You're going to go down. These are all the many presets I've bought, trying to find the one I like. And then beachy, that's what I use. I click beachy, click the check mark. What I like to do is I go over to detail and I go to noise reduction and I pull it over just a little. This is what photographers do when they edit your photos, just to make them look like a little bit more airbrushed, a little bit just more like, it's like a perfecting filter, but it's not anything crazy. Do not, okay, so I used to do this. Let me preface this, okay? Do not use Facetune to edit your face and make it look completely fake. I used to think that was a good idea. It is not a good idea. People can tell you majorly edited your photo. So if you're still using Facetune, please do this instead. This is so much more natural and it doesn't change anything drastic. So let me like zoom in and show you guys. This was before. You can just see like maybe the texture of my face isn't completely flawless, but when you pull it over a little bit, it just like lightly perfects your face. It's nothing crazy. The photo is still you. It's still natural. Then what I like to do is if I think it's a little too bright, which I don't usually think this, but in some situations, if I'm in direct sunlight, I might think it was a little bright. I will pull exposure over just a teeny tiny bit to usually about negative like 15 to 10. So here, let's just go with like 11. So it's not a huge difference, but it's just minor if I thought it was too bright. So before, after, boom, that's literally all I do. In my opinion, if you have a good preset, that is all you need to do. Like you're not going to need to do anything crazy. Okay, so that is how I edit my photo. If you have something that you feel like you really needed to change, like maybe you had a big zit on your face or something, okay? Or there was just something you're like, no, I really have to fix my face. Here is what you want to do. You want to go to retouch and actually save something to my favorites where I had like a little mark on my face. Let me see if I can find it. This one. Okay, this is the day I voted. You can't really see it. I actually did not edit this on the day of because it was very light, but I actually did have a little pimple over here. So if that bothered me, I would go to retouch and I would click quick repair and I would just literally go like that. Boom, gone. And it's not anything crazy. Or some people like using the blemish remover tool, which is like a dot like that. Either one. I think there's something right here I could do too. Boom. See, it's so easy. It's so natural. You didn't do anything crazy and change your whole face. It's going to fix the problem, but in a very, very natural way. Whereas like if you go try to blur it out in Facetune, like you just blurred a whole section of your face and like people can tell. So these are what I like to use. What's also really cool about retouch is if there's something in the photo that's really ugly that you don't like, you can take it completely out with retouch. So obviously I want my voter sticker in there, but like, let's pretend I didn't. I could literally come highlight it, completely take it out like it was never there. Not cool? So you can do this with literally anything, like anything at all. Like let's say the picture's in your living room and there's like a couple toys on the floor and it was a really cute picture of your kids and it wasn't the cutest toys. It was like, just something you didn't want in the picture. You could go do that, like highlight it on retouch and get it out. Let's say there was a really ugly cord in the background. You could highlight the cord. Sometimes if it's something complicated, like for example, I have some like, I don't know what you call it, like my patio brick, whatever, outside on my front porch, there's lines in it. So like, let's say there was something I was trying to retouch off the patio. I might have to be really careful because there's like these lines on the patio. So if it's something like that, just know like if it's not, sorry guys, let me open that back up. If you do it and you mess up, you literally just click the arrow at the top there to undo and then do it again and maybe try smaller sections till you get it what you want. But retouch is amazing. I use it literally for any imperfections in a photo that bother me. And I don't even have to use it that much. I've gotten to where like, if it's not something super noticeable, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to stress about it. But in certain situations, I do think it is valuable. So I'm trying to see if there's anything else I really want to show you guys. Okay, so one thing is in certain photos, like if the lighting is kind of weird, sometimes you might be tempted to count it out because you think it's not going to be a good photo. Like this was the original photo. Savannah was taking it of me outside. It was really dark. The way the sun was, anywhere I stood, it wasn't good. It was like peak time of the day. I want to say it was like 1:45. And I was trying to get a good photo, and I just, everywhere I went, this was actually election day. I had this, you could see the brightness behind me, but then my face and everything was dark. So I still will get as many good photos in situations like this as I can, because I'm very confident my preset will make it better. And it did. Like, this was my preset. So if you're taking photos and you're frustrated, still, if you have a good preset, you still should be able to salvage some. Like, that's a huge difference. So I just wanted to show that too, because I think sometimes we get frustrated with our photo and we just give up. But like, if you have a good preset, you shouldn't have to give up. I think that's about it. Does anybody have any questions before we move on about presets in particular? I'm going to stop screen sharing for a second and kind of go back into like taking the photos. Oh, let me look at the chat. Yeah, this is Lightroom. Lightroom is an Android and Apple app. You can get it regardless of what phone you have. Retouch, I think, is on both as well too. That preset that I use is Chelsea Jean, and it's spelled Chelsea, not how Chelsea Hawkins spells her name, but how Chelsea Crawford spells her name. So Chelsa, Chelsea Jean. She's on Instagram, and she sells it in like a pack. And so there's 2 different packs you can buy. Mine is the one that has beachy and gold. There's a couple others, but it's like got beachy, gold, and like 2 others. So if you're looking at the other pack and you don't see beachy or gold, it's the wrong one. I do have that one too. I don't really use it though. I bought both of them trying to figure out which one I needed, and ended up realizing I only needed one. Once you buy your preset and you download it, there is a specific way you have to get it into Lightroom. And you know what? I'm just going to share and show you guys this real quick, because I get asked this a lot. Now, depending on what presets you buy, the directions are a little bit different, but I'll just show you guys how it is on most of them. And you can always YouTube directions if you feel stuck. Okay, so what you want to do is you go over here and you make a folder, an album that says presets. See this right here, presets? These are all the mini ones I've bought trying to find what I like. So these, for example, they look like this. Like when you download them, beachy, dusk, everyday, food, and gold. That's what comes in the pack of the one that I like. Now, I really only ever use beachy or gold, but the other ones are okay, I guess. So once you save them to your camera roll, they're going to look like they're blank in your camera roll. You're going to be able to tell you have something new in your camera roll, but they're going to look blank. So you're going to go create an album and call it presets. And then you're going to go into presets and click this right here. And then you're going to go from camera roll and select the photos you just saved, even though they look blank. And then they're not going to look blank once you add them. Once you add them, you're going to see them right there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to click them and click the top 3 dots in the corner and click create preset. And then when you click that, you're going to type and call it what it's called. So like beachy, whatever. And you want to do this with every single one. And then once you've saved them, boom, you have them and they're right over here, ready to go in your presets. Anything you save preset wise will be over here. Now, if you look over here and you don't see it at first, it's just because you have this set to color or something. So you want to click this and click user presets. And once you click user presets once, it's always on that. You don't have to do it again. But yeah, there's tons of different presets. This is beachy. You can, and see what I like about beachy is it's good for even indoor and outdoor. So like this was before, that's in my bedroom in the middle of the day, good lighting, that's after. So it works with whatever. And I think that one, the lighting was so bright, I did have to dim the exposure down a little bit. So sometimes I have to do that, but I think it's just a very well-rounded preset. It looks good on food. This was me and Mason. We went and got ice cream. That was before, or froyo, before, after. So like it makes food pop. And she has a food one. I just don't ever use it. I like beachy and gold the best. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. It looks good on all my kids and they all have different skin tones. Mason's blonde, Savannah's dark, and like I don't know. It's just something that it doesn't distort real colors. Like some presets will look really great if you're, brunette and really tan, but then if you're blonde and pale, they don't look good on you. So what I like about this is it looks good on everyone, but absolutely, if you find a preset that you really like, that's completely different, don't worry about that. Get the one that you want. Like you don't have to get the same thing as me, as Jordan, as anyone. Get what you like, get what you feel like fits your vibe. I know that Catherine just got kind of like a boho vintage one lately that she really likes. So definitely get what you like. And then yeah, Bianca said in the chat, Lightroom is a free app and you can find presets really cheap. I got a pack of presets for $4. Yeah, you can literally get presets for free. You can get presets as cheap as $4. There's presets as expensive as $100. I think mine were like $20 for 5 of them. I would personally not pay any more than 20 or 30 bucks. I would try to find something on the $5 range if you can. And if you find a free one you love, then get a free one. But definitely don't go spend like $100 because they're not that good. There's photographers that are professional photographers that sell theirs for $4 or $5. So either buy a bundle like I did or buy one that you really like, but don't spend a lot of money. Okay. So those two apps, just to recap, are Lightroom and Retouch. That is literally all I use. If I showed you all the apps I have on my phone from like back in the day when we first got started and I thought I needed all these apps, like it would blow your mind. I've actually deleted most of them. But I used to have all these apps that I thought I needed. And I go back and look at those photos and I'm like, what were you doing? So if I can tell you anything that I've learned, to keep it simple, Lightroom, Retouch, and you don't even need to retouch every single day. You're only going to need that for like those rare occasions when there's something you need to fix. But okay, so a couple of things I want to go over before I pass it over to Jordan for video is how to take a good photo. So number one, if you're someone that is intimidated by selfies, I want to tell you, rip the Band-Aid off. Don't be intimidated. I was someone that did not take a lot of pictures of myself before I joined this business. And I think Jordan didn't either. But once you just get started taking pictures, you're not going to feel weird about it anymore. So you just have to get started. I used to, when I got started, I would make my kids get in the picture with me because I like felt so weird taking a photo by myself. So if you got to grab a kid, but definitely just start taking more photos. Catherine can attest, if you don't take a lot of photos, you're going to get yelled at by your friends in the business. We tell Catherine all the time when we're trying to find pictures of her for Zooms, we're like, where are your photos? There's all the photos of your dogs and your coffee and your niece and nephew, and there's none of you. So, and then we have to grab her wedding photos. And then she's like, why do you always use my wedding photos for promotion pictures? I'm like, because you need to take more. So definitely take, start getting in the habit of taking photos. I want to read this in the chat, so it's on the recording. Monique said, also for brown skin girls, try the preset called dark skin. Yeah, and definitely if you feel like, if you have darker skin and you're like, okay, Brittani, your preset does not look good on me, definitely go find a preset that you like. And I love that Monique shared the one that she likes, because there are certain presets that are going to look better on different people for sure. And so it's all about just finding that one that you love, that you feel like is complementary to you. Because the goal of a preset, you guys, is when you put it on your picture, you're like, man, I look good. Like that just made my skin glow. I feel like I'm like everything's popping. My eyes look good. Like that's what you want. And so if the preset that you're currently using isn't doing that for you, then go get a new preset, because I promise you there's one out there that you're going to love and you're going to feel like $1,000,000 when you click it on your photo. It's just going to be all the feels for you. You're going to be like, oh, I love the way this looks on my Instagram. I love the way, everything about this. So definitely make sure that you, find the one that you love. And if you have someone that you follow that you love their photos, don't be afraid to ask them like, hey, what preset do you use? Even bloggers and stuff, like most of them will answer you. If you ask them what they use, most of them will respond back to you. Or if you look in their hashtags, they maybe are even hashtagging what the preset is, and you can figure it out that way. But anyways, okay, so back to taking photos of you. Number one is you want to make sure that the light is on your face, not behind you. That photo I showed you last in Lightroom, that was kind of hard for me. I kept taking it in all these different directions. That photo, like the light was so bright outside that anywhere I stood, it looked like it was behind me. And that's why I was getting frustrated. I was like, okay, I can't stand anywhere and win. So I did just go ahead and get a photo that day. But ordinarily, like you want to make sure the light is in front of you, not behind you. That's going to make your skin have that glowing look. That's going to make your, just everything look better and more aesthetically pleasing. So if you're taking pictures in your house, you want to stand in front of a window, particularly the window that the sun is on that side of your house. If you're outside, you don't want to be in direct light. So like here in Florida, the sun is really bright all the time and we don't have big trees. Like we don't have a lot of shade. We just have palm trees. And so like in the middle of the day like that, with that photo I was showing you guys, anywhere I went, the sun was super bright. But for most of you guys, you probably live in places where you have a little bit, more variance. And so definitely go stand somewhere where it's you're not in direct sunlight, but you're not in the dark either. So when I lived in Texas, I had this really pretty big live oak in my front yard. And sometimes I would go stand kind of over that direction because it was huge and shaded a lot of my yard. And so I didn't even have to be directly by the tree. Like the tree could be in front of me, but if I stood right here, there was like enough over me that it like made it to where the sun wasn't quite so direct. And so that would work really well. Another tip I want to give you guys is I prop my phone up all over the place. So people are always asking me if I have a tripod, like who takes my photos. I would say 90% of my photos. Savannah takes a lot of them too. But most of my pictures I take myself, and I don't have a tripod. Now, there's nothing against tripods. I'm sure they're really helpful, but I've just never seen the need to buy one. I literally, what I do is, if you have an iPhone, so I, swipe my camera over, go to portrait. I do front camera mode on portrait. And then I click the little arrow at the top, and then I click the little clock, and then I do 10 seconds. And then I literally prop it up wherever I'm going to prop it. So if I was outside, I might prop it up on a tree facing me, or prop it up on my car facing me. Or if I'm inside, sometimes like I literally have propped it up on door handles, like on a shelf. Like I prop it up all over the place, and I just like get where the lighting's going to be good on my face and find somewhere in front of me to prop it. I do this all the time, everywhere. If I'm out somewhere with friends, I've been at restaurants before with people, and I'll set it on the table and like set it up against the salt shaker, and then we'll back up and get situated. And then once we're situated, when you press it, you have 10 seconds. And so personally, that's what I love doing. I know some of you are newer, so this happened before you joined, but those of you that have been on the team for a while, you probably remember the photo where I was in my bed and Zach had come in and actually got a photo of me like holding my phone with my feet, taking a picture of my coffee. That's how I take all my coffee photos. I literally have like my blanket over me, and then I have my legs stretched out, and then I hold the phone up in between both of my feet. I do the timer, self timer, 10 seconds, and then I just pose with my coffee. And sometimes I might have to take it 2 or 3 times if like the angle was weird, or I might have to like adjust so the lighting's better. But I do that every single morning and get great coffee photos. Like I'm just going to screen share one more time and show you guys in Lightroom. These are all photos I've taken myself, and you're going to be like, holy cow. So let's see here. Screen share. I'm telling you, every time I do this, I have to like reread the directions. Okay, here we go. Oops. Okay. So this was not my feet. This one, I just had it on the like little tray I have on my coffee table. I tried it both ways. Sometimes I leave my glasses on. Sometimes I take them off, whatever I'm feeling that day. So that was that. And then this, I had it set up on my nightstand. So I literally put the phone on my nightstand and then just did the timer. I think it was up against my lamp. And then I think I have a coffee one recently. Yeah, here's a coffee one. So this one I didn't have my blanket. I usually like my blanket so I can disguise what I'm doing. But this one I like was very creative. I like turned my legs sideways and then held it. It was complicated. But normally I have, let me see if normally I have my blanket, so you can't tell. Like I can have my legs anyway and you wouldn't be able to tell. But that's literally how I take all my coffee photos. I'm telling you guys, like you got to try it. You can do so much stuff by yourself. Now, sometimes like this one was just something for my story. I was just talking about how making your bed's the first win of the day. So this one I did have Savannah take for me, but like I'm telling you, most of my photos are myself. This one I set up in my car. I just set it up on like the window, like in between the window and my steering wheel, and then just did it that way. So, I mean, I do all kinds of different things. This one I held it. So sometimes I hold it, but I usually try to prop it up. I think that in my opinion, it is normally going to be better if you can prop it up. If you can prop it up and give yourself 10 seconds, you're going to be able to smile more naturally, pose more naturally, all the things. So I personally like that. And then 2, people like can't tell that you took it of yourself. Whereas when you're like holding it out, people see your arm. So anyways, that's just another tip for you guys. And then there was one other thing I was going to share with you guys about taking a photo of yourself, and it totally just left me. I don't even remember. It'll probably come to me right when Jordan's talking about video. But yeah, that is the main thing. Make sure that you're in good lighting. The lighting's on your face. Make sure you've got somewhere to prop your phone up, and just go for it. You'll get more and more comfortable, and you'll find that, you're getting more creative. Your creative juices are flowing, and you're finding, nooks and crannies of your house that you didn't even think of to take pictures before. So you can't see, but I'm in my office right now, and right outside my office doors are my front door. And I have 2 front doors, and there's like 2 handles together. And then there's like 2 deadbolts. I literally have like sat my phone on the handles against the like deadbolts and then done it that way. So like just start looking around, like where could I prop my phone up? Because in the middle of the day, that's where the sun shines in, and I can stand right there, my entryway, and like on portrait, the background's kind of, nicely blurred. And it's just like, it's a really good place to get a good photo. So, and then another thing I like doing is So sometimes I'll stand for photos. Sometimes I'll be sitting with coffee, whatever, but sometimes I'll go outside and I will sit down. So like, especially if I'm just like kind of casually dressed, like maybe I just have a hat on or something like that. And I want to write something, just like a little inspiring word for somebody, or maybe I want to hold my collagen and make it a product post. I will go sit outside and sit down and then just set my phone level in front of me, like set it up against a rock or something in front of me or up against whatever. And then, you know, that way I have like a totally different photo than normal. Cause so many photos, you're just like sitting with your coffee or you're standing up or whatever. So that's another idea for you, is like look around where you could like sit and get a totally different pose. Because that will also help you give just like some diversity to your Instagram. And then I think the last thing I want to share with you guys before I pass it over to Jordan is I am going to screen share one last time. And I'm just going to show you guys one thing on Instagram and then I'll be done. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, so what I like to do on Instagram is I like to make sure there is diversity. So I want to make sure that it's not just all like a close up of me, or it's not all my kids, or it's not all of me standing. Like I want to make sure that there's some variance there. So for example, you'll see like here I have me and Haley, and then here I have me and Savannah. I do have me and Savannah twice, but then like I have a selfie of me. I've got a group photo. There's me and Savannah. Like I try to make sure it's not too much of one thing, not too much coffee, you know, whatever. And don't overthink this. Like this is something I've gotten better at with time. But what I do, what helps me is if I'm going to make a post and I don't know what my post is going to be, I will look at Instagram and I will look at what is the last thing I posted. And then I'll look at this third photo over here, because the next thing I post is going to be above the third photo, because that's going to get moved down below, and it's going to be beside the first photo. So I just, and then I do typically hide my reels off my Instagram once they've been up for a little while. So that won't be there anymore. But anyways, I look at the third and the first, because it's going to be beside the first, but it's going to be above the third. And that kind of helps me know what I need. So for example, in this case, I am going to archive my reels, so this isn't actually accurate, but let's pretend that was a normal photo. I would probably want something of my kids, or I'd want something of me far away, because these are two really close up things of me. So I want the next photo to be totally different. Or like, see how here I had my nail photo. I think somewhere I had a coffee photo down here that was more up close. I don't remember. But anyways, that's kind of what I look at, is like, what do I have? And that way I can change it up a little bit. Again, it's not always going to work perfectly. Sometimes you might, you know, it might be something still similar, and don't stress about it. It's still going to be fine. But ordinarily I do try to consider that. And that just keeps your Instagram more aesthetically pleasing. Like the goal for me is when people look at my Instagram, it's interesting. Like it's not just all one thing. So I just try to make sure it's, you know, there's just a lot of different stuff. And see, this is how like I think, and again, this is silly, but like it bothered me when I had the two of my dog right beside each other. I was like, oh man, I should have spaced that out. But again, I still posted it because I had a really cute picture. So I'm telling you, like, sometimes you just have to do what you got to do. Don't overthink. But like, typically, like I wouldn't do that beside each other. And again, I'm getting like way detailed now, but that's just something that I do try to consider. And I think like when you do it that way and you have just like some variance going on, it does just keep it like looking more like, I don't know, it pops more when people look at it. So that's just a little tip, especially if you feel like right now you're kind of struggling with Instagram. That's something you could do, just like one small thing to consider that will kind of help you out. And make it to where you have some more creative ideas flowing. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Jordan. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh yeah. And Jordan said you can use cover photos for reels and keep it uniform. So you can upload your own exclusive cover photo that wasn't a part of the reel, so it looked like a pretty picture still. Okay. I don't think there's any more questions. Devin did say overcast days are the best to take photos. Yeah. Overcast days really are. Okay. Jordan, do you want to take it away for video?
Yeah, hey you guys. Okay, so I'm going to be screen sharing and showing you how I do videos specifically for my stories. So I get questions pretty much on the daily, a lot of them from you guys asking how I do my coffee videos, how I do like the stop motion type things. So I'm actually going to screen share and show you guys how I do all of my tips and tricks. So let's get this rolling. Brittany, I think you have to enable screen sharing.
Let me look at that real quick. Hold on.
Okay.
Allow participants. Maybe I just need to make you like a co-host. I don't know how to do that.
I think they took away the co-host ability.
Hold on, let me look at one more thing. One participant can share at a time. Oh, who can share? All participants. Here we go. Yeah, you should be good now, Jordan.
Okay. Sweet. Yes. Okay. Read through the directions. Okay, here we go. And if you guys have any questions along the way, go ahead and just put them in the chat, and I will be checking them periodically just to make sure I'm catching everything, because I'm going to go through this a little bit fast, so feel free to put them in there. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys two different ways that I do my videos. One of them is a stop motion video, and one of them is how I speed up my videos for my stories. So the first one I'll show you is how I do my stop motion ones. And the app I use for this is called Tezza, T-E-Z-Z-A. And I've already uploaded one that I want to show you guys, but just for user ability to show you guys how I do it. So there's a plus sign in the top right corner that you can do the plus sign and go through and pick what you want for what you're going to edit. You can also edit pictures in here, but I only do it for videos. So I went ahead and just uploaded one of me walking with my daughter just to give it a little bit kind of a different thing. The other one I'm going to show you is for my coffee. Obviously you can see everything I have on here is like coffee. But I'll just show you a couple different ones just to see how cute it looks. So what you're going to do is just tap on the video that you want to edit. And then in the bottom left, you can see where it says edit. And what I love about Tezza is that it has features that I haven't seen on any other apps. But you can also do filters if you want to use like their filters that they have on here. Sometimes I do, sometimes I just use like Instagram. But for the stop motion that I do, so you guys can see this is playing, it's just a 5-second video, but it's just us walking. But if you look down at the bottom right where you see the lightning bolts, that is where you can do the different features for the videos. So I use stop motion, and you can see it just kind of like slows it down, gives it that cute choppy type look. I also, like I said, do this with my coffee videos, and I think it just really catches people's eye. Like they're not expecting to see, you know, something different on their Instagram other than like people talking or just like a regular type video. But you can do different things here depending on the video that you're editing. You can speed it up if you want. You can change the steps that it takes. So obviously that's super fast. You can slow it down, make it take like bigger steps in there. You can just kind of play around with it with whatever video you're doing. And then, like I said, you can tap through these and there's different types of filters. You can adjust the exposure, brightness, all those different kinds of things. Like I said, I normally don't use these just because, I don't know, I just kind of have a good rhythm of how I do Instagram. I usually use a lot of their stuff. So let me go out and just show you guys one more so you can see maybe just my coffee. These are all done, so I'll show you one that's already finished. So you can see how it took like just a regular coffee video and it's just like making it a little bit choppy, just adding a little bit extra oomph to it, and super quick videos, right? Okay, and then the other one that I use is called InShot. And this is the app that I use whenever I want to do like coffee videos and speed up my videos. So obviously a lot of times like when I'm making my coffee and like doing all those things, it's usually a lot longer than the 15 seconds that Instagram allows you. So I use this one to actually speed up my videos. So we'll go ahead and just pick this one up here. You can see that it's 41 seconds long. obviously too long for an Instagram video. And then one of the first things that I do on here is scroll over, and I just go ahead and turn down the volume because we definitely don't have a quiet house in the morning. The kids are loud, things are going on. So don't feel like you have to have like the perfect scene, the perfect setup to be able to do these types of videos. You just turn that volume down. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Is that still sharing, Brittany? It looks frozen.
Yeah, it's sharing, but I'm not seeing your volume change. But I see your coffee.
I don't know why that's frozen on there.
I can see your mouse, if that helps. I see your mouse moving.
Nothing on the video though. Okay, let me stop and just reshare that. Sorry, guys. Okay, now it's having a hard time reconnecting. Okay, one more time. Okay, we back? Good to go? Can you guys see? Brittany, just give me a thumbs up if you can see, okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, so I take that volume down, and then what I do is just scroll over to where it says speed. You guys can see it right down there, and you can just speed up your videos. So my goal is to keep it within the 15 seconds that Instagram gives me for my stories. Sometimes I do more than one, but I try to just keep it at one, so that way it's quick, it's good to go. I don't have to do music on more than one video if I'm doing music and things like that. So let's see if we take it around like a 4, see where that gets us. 4.2. Okay, so that made it really fast. I took it down to like 9 seconds. So you can see it just like speeds it up, goes super fast. I actually used this video the other day, but I did it in the stop motion. So it just kind of gives you a different look to the video, whichever one that you want to do. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to take that speed down just a little bit. Okay, you can also do lots of different things in here. They have filters that you can use if you want to do that. If you have parts in your video that you want to cut out, you can like split your video, you can cut it, you can adjust it and things like that. So you can really just play around with it and get like the look that you want to your video. Okay, let me go ahead and just save it to show you guys what I do with it next. They do have ads on there. Okay, so I usually do one of two things here. If I like it how it is, I will go ahead and go over to Instagram, put it in my stories, and I'll show you guys how I do that. But if I want to just add a little bit of extra oomph to it, what I do is go over to the app called Over. If you guys don't have this, it's super helpful. You can actually do videos. So I'm going to go ahead and upload the video that we just saved. And then here is where you can, if you want to get fancy and add like different fonts, you can add graphics to your video if you just want to give it that extra oomph to it. I like to use this one right here. So I'm just going to go through and do a quick little thing of like something that I would put on here. I won't go and do like the whole thing. I'm just going to give you guys like a quick overview. So let me back up. So you can go at the bottom, you see where it says graphic. If you tap on that, and just to let you guys know, I have the free version of this. You can do the paid version and get like all of their features, but I do the free one. And whenever I'm looking up specific graphics, so if I want to put something about coffee on there, like if I want to do a cute coffee cup at the bottom of it, what I would do is just type coffee free and search. And you can see those aren't coffee cups, but you can see what it brings up for free. And then as you scroll down further, it's going to start telling you like when you have to have the pro version to be able to get that particular graphic or sticker. So let's find a cute one here. We'll just do the one that says coffee, just because that's what I'm finding right there. And what I love about Over for things like this is you can do layers on it. Whereas on Instagram, if I'm just uploading it straight to Instagram stories and editing it there, you don't have a lot of option with like what you can layer. I mean, you can layer things, but it's a little bit more difficult. So what I'm also gonna do, so you can also save graphics on here. So I'm gonna go to see all, and these are the ones that I've saved sometime in the past. So we'll do something like this one, just to give it some depth right there. And then I'm just gonna move that behind the word coffee. And just kind of play around with it right there. So a lot of times what I'll put is like fat burning coffee or skinny coffee or skinny mocha, whatever I'm feeling for that day for that Instagram post. And then I will just save it. And then click save right there. And it's going to save that to your phone. Okay, and then from there, what I'm going to do is go to my Instagram. And you'll see the video that you just made. It's going to pop up right there. You can do that one, or if I was just going to do this one right here, then I could add my own stickers and graphics and things like that. And for those of you who are newer that are not as familiar with how like Instagram stories work and things, I really like to use the poll option on there. So I will do send me info. Give me that coffee. Okay. And we'll do something like that. And then you can do your own wording in graphics. So let's say coffee time. You guys are probably laughing because this is literally what I do like all the time. It says coffee time all the time. And then you can write in different words of like what you want to say about your coffee. So you could talk about the benefits of what it does for you. Put something about your discount or whatever it is, swipe up and message coffee for more information or however you want to say. So that is basically, let me go ahead and stop mirroring. That's basically what I do for my coffee videos.
Thank you so much, Jordan. I think that just like those simple tips are going to be so helpful for people because I know that videos for some people can just be intimidating. And so I hope that Jordan's showing you just how easy this is for her. Like she's got several apps that are very user friendly that you can do straight from your phone. You don't have to have any fancy equipment or anything. I hope that inspires you to go out and, you know, get creative with your stories, get creative with reels. One other thing I wanted to say when I was talking about photos, which ties into what she was just sharing about stories, is you can get away with putting so much in your stories. So even if, you know, you're over here stressing about like, oh, I got to get this picture for my next post. I've got this perfect post in my head, but I need this kind of picture. Well, that's great. But meanwhile, before you get around to getting that picture in a couple hours, there may be several opportunities you have to get other really great pictures or some cute videos or whatever that you can put in your stories. And you really can't overdo stories. Like as long as you're being authentic and you're showing your life, which is what people want to see, you can put so much stuff in your stories. And I like to do a mix in my stories of video and pictures. So stuff like Jordan just showed you mixed with some pictures you're taking, and just have fun with it. You can use the hands-free option on your story too if you're recording a video in real time. If you're recording it ahead of time like Jordan showed and like you're getting cue with it and speeding it up and things like that, use those apps that she shared and use the features that you have within Instagram too as you need them. I know she talked a little bit about music, but you can add music in your stories on top of video or pictures. And so just like literally click up there, that little sticker in Instagram, click music and add whatever music you think is fitting. And especially what she said about the chaotic house. So I have so many times when I'm doing something in my house is loud. And what's great about music is it completely ixnays the sound you had and it just puts music on top. So there's really no excuse. No matter what's going on in your life, you can still get creative and, still personalize it and make it cute and eye-catching and all the things. So I did not see any more questions coming through. So I think that about covered it. I think we got to all the questions. If you have any last minute questions, throw it in the chat ASAP because we're about to wrap up. But yeah, I'm excited to see you guys' content. I'm excited to see some more videos. I want to tell you guys that I just recently started actually doing reels. I mean, I've probably did my first one like a couple months ago, but I just started really recording some more that I'm going to be dripping over the next couple of days. I did one last night with Savannah. That was fun. And she helped me record another one today that I'm posting in the morning with my coffee. And so I just want to encourage you, if photos are something you're already comfortable with, but videos is not, take Jordan's tips and start doing video, even if it's just one a week. Just start doing something because it's going to feel more second nature the more that you do it. And just think of it like this. At one point, you probably were a little intimidated by photos too. You maybe were intimidated by selfies at one point and now you're not anymore. And so definitely make sure that whatever it is you feel like kind of intimidates you, just rip the Band-Aid off and go for it. And you'll blow your own mind where you are when you look back at your time hop memories a year from now. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. We love you guys. And if anybody has any quick other questions that you didn't remember or whatever, just ask in the comments on the thread in Fire Tribe of the Zoom. And either Jordan or myself will get to it. I did see someone asked about what's Reels, and that's already been answered. But yeah, Reels is on Instagram, and it's kind of like TikTok. And so yeah, if you Hope, I think I saw you ask that in the chat. For some reason, it wasn't showing. That's so weird. I don't know. My only advice for that is just keep updating it. That's super strange. But yeah, you can do that though. Do your TikToks and then upload them that way. One thing I'll say before we wrap up, and this will give anyone a chance to ask any last minute questions, is just to work smarter, not harder. What I do is when I do my reels, it asks you if you want to post it to reels or story before you post. So I save it to my phone and I go ahead and click post to reels. And then because it was already saved in my phone, I go post it to my story after, because why not? I want it to get seen in as many places as possible. And you have to re-put the audio on, just so you know. Again, when you save it, it won't save it with the audio. So you have to put the audio on again. And then I take the saved video and I go post it on TikTok, even though I don't really have anything going on TikTok, don't have a big following over there or anything. I mean, you already made it. Why not put it out there too? And so I put it on TikTok, add the audio again, and then I take what I say from TikTok and put it in my Facebook story, because your Reels story, just so you know, won't transfer over to your Facebook story. Even though everything else transfers over, your Reels won't. So I do take what TikTok automatically saves to your phone, I put that in my Facebook story. And that way now I just recorded one video, but it's showing up in all 4 places. So again, it's just working smarter, not harder. Some of you guys maybe saw this in the chat the other day. I think it was 2 weeks ago, but from just doing that, I signed a distributor the end of last month from TikTok, and I don't even have a lot going on TikTok, you guys. I have 100 followers. That's it. My biggest following is on Instagram, but I put my coffee reels, I put it over on TikTok because, again, why not? She saw it, and in my TikTok bio, it says, follow me on Instagram at Brittani Hayes. So she clicked and went and followed me, and then just started scoping out my Instagram and came across my influencer application in my bio, filled it out the same day. And then in her little thing where it there's the boxes, they answer questions. She said, I saw your TikTok today on coffee and came over and found you on Instagram. So that was just a really cool story that I wanted to share with you guys on why I'm such a firm believer, working smarter, not harder. You already created the content, put it on all the platforms. Even if you think you don't have anything over here on this platform, you might as well. I can't tell you how many people have a couple hundred followers on Instagram, but only work Facebook. And they're like, well, I don't really have a following on Instagram like you guys do. Guys, we didn't either. When I got started, I had 200 followers on Instagram. I don't know how many Jordan had, but I know she didn't have a whole lot either. And now both of us have grown that, into the thousands and thousands. And so you just have to start. And our audience has grown from creating content and being consistent over there, just like Facebook, and adding to our network over there, et cetera. So put it on all the platforms that you have, put it in your story, put it on Reels, put it on everywhere, because while that cool story I shared with you guys doesn't happen every single time, it does happen periodically. And you already did the work. So why not let it like work for you at as many places as possible? So anyways, we love you guys. I'm going to go ahead and end this recording, and I'll get this uploaded to YouTube soon for anyone that wasn't able to watch live or wants to watch it again. If you guys have any other questions you think of, just let us know, but we hope you guys have a good night. Bye guys.